Just a minor small adjustment. We did let these cheese solutions or the formation of the curds sit overnight instead of 5 minutes. We did find that actually letting them sit overnight was better. But ideally, if you get something that looks like this one, that is a really, really good example. You can see that there is solid curds in there, and you can see the whey product still present in solution, and then you can see the white curds. Okay. Well, I was looking for my stir rod, which seems traditional. Okay. Then you can look at, that one still bothers me a little bit. Okay. Then you can look at these two, and this one's been stirred up a little bit, but you can see that there is some separation. Not quite as clear as this one, but you can see that there is a white product sitting here. It's a lot finer, but when I stir down here at the bottom, I can really feel that thick, viscous stuff. It's harder to stir at the bottom, so make sure you kind of feel down there. Now, when I fill this one, Dr. Hathcock and I are having disagreements on this one, because when I feel the bottom of this one, it really feels like there's something there.
Guess we'll find out when we filter.
So she thought it was a little too fine, like you couldn't feel anything, but as I sat there, it feels really thick down there. So,
all right, so real quick, we're going to cover here. This one here in the center
had the rennet
in it only. Mm-hmm. This one on the right has only vinegar,
acid or vinegar,
and then finally here
the rennet
and the unknown. Okay, so we're going to start with the middle one.
Oh, we're going to do middle. Okay.
Yep, middle one, because that's our rennet, and we're going to filter it.
And make sure when you do your cheesecloth that you give 2 to 3 layers, and
so
that you give enough gives so that you can collect this, and that just looks like, reminds me of eggs.
So what we're filtering out is your curds and whey. Now in food science, you can actually drink the whey, which is what you're going to find at the bottom, which is your liquid, and this is basically the beginning of cottage cheese. But
it smells disgusting?
Or? It's cottage cheese.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I can't smell anything, but...
Nope. So...
It kind of reminds me of scrambled eggs a little bit. Just...
Texture.
Yeah. That's probably about what we're going to end up with. Okay. So I think we have to wash, so I'm going to sit that one back there.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go with mine and see how this one ended up.
Okay. Okay, careful not to overflow.
And I'm
probably... Oh, we got plenty of room there. Okay, so it'll take a minute.
I'm thinking this one's going to take a little bit. Yeah, let's go one.
Okay, well, we can set it aside and we'll come over here.
Oops. I think I need a little more give after seeing that one.
Okay.
Choose some good rubber bands.
Hang on a second.
I'm trying to think of what the best, because they're not going to have, you guys aren't going to have beakers, so you're going to want to use cups or
pots, a larger pot and pan.
Yeah, and you're going to need to probably have somebody hold the cheesecloth for you, or I guess you could even use binder clips to clip your cheesecloth onto
strainer.
Yeah. Okay. I just want more to give because I have more going. I don't think I have enough space over here.
We could separate the layers out.
Yeah. we could try. I just think there needs to be more depth.
All right, want a longer piece?
Yeah. Maybe we can just set it under here, just even if it's, so we don't have to recut that. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more of this.
So if you're in your home, you can use a pillowcase and a colander.
Oh yeah. Now with this one, you're gonna have to give it some time to filter. It's going pretty slowly. We can sit this on top of it. Okay. Okay. Alright, here goes nothing. Yeah, there's stuff there.
Okay.
Oh, some more chunk. Thicker than the one I had.
Huh?
But I haven't got.
Well.
Alright. So now, after seeing this one, I'm a little worried about that one over there on the. Now, things go wrong. Things go wrong. It's not uncommon that you have to start over.
That's half the fun of experiments. That's why they're called experiments.
And you learn from them, and that's what you do and what you don't do overnight.
Now these were all kept overnight.
That's probably about the best I can get.
Now you're going to wash these with
Water.
Distilled water.
Yeah. So it says to gather the cheesecloth with casein and rinse in cool water. So
I'm getting that.
It's just getting down to the good stuff. It looks like mine was kind of thickening up. This is one where you want to have patience. Our water faucet for distilled water is not any too fast. And the one with filtering with acetic acid is not fast either, but it does say squeeze, so maybe we could squeeze some of the water off. That might help this one filter a little faster. But add the water to your pan where you poured your original substance off. That'll get the remaining, or what you can.
And if you guys have spatulas at home,
they work a lot better than the stir rods.
Oh, you're not quite ready to wash that, are you?
No, I think we might need to squeeze it. That might help it because it's just dripping.
I'll get you a little more on that one.
Alright guys, welcome back. Well, with that first one where we added acid, it didn't work like what we would hope it to do. So I added a whole bunch more acid just to see if I could get it to separate. And so if you look at it now, you can obviously see that there is some separation. You can see that difference in, I'd almost say layers, but it's not correct. But you can see that you do have whey. You do see that you have that protein starting to settle. Problem that I'm having with this one is that the protein is so fine that it makes it really, really hard to collect, and it's not looking, if I hopefully don't spill, doesn't look like this one here. Okay, this is an ideal sample that you hope your curds would look like. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you another thing to think about. Okay. I had some solutions sitting on the side, and I know what it does, and so now's a good chance for you to do this. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to show you the bottom half of this. It's a blue colored solution. Okay. And what this solution does is it is a specific test for proteins. Okay. So I'm going to cut the top of it off here. And I'm going to add this blue reagent, okay, to my solution, and hopefully it does what I want. Well, I have a feeling it's just too dilute. But here's something to think about. Okay. And I'll show you a picture of it. It was blue. Okay. What is supposed to happen is that if there was protein in there, and we know that there is protein in there, okay, it should have turned purple. Okay. So the question would be, what reagent did I add that would make this, what was in this plastic vial already, what would make it go from a blue color to a purple color? And again, the purple color just didn't form because it's a small amount here and a very, very large amount there. Okay. So I need a whole bunch more, I just don't have enough. Okay. So the question is, what is it? That's one of your questions you will be asked. All right. All right, now for the parts that did work like what we were hoping them to do, okay, is when you do that first filtration into the cheesecloth, okay, these curds are what you should see. Okay? So this is your ideal example. Okay? So it should look like that. Okay, right now this one is just drying. This one is just the rennet only. Okay? The one with the rennet and the unknown look the same. Okay? We've just done a couple additional steps to it. And as you can see, make sure that you do this over the sink because this one's starting to drip. Okay. So the rennet and the unknown. Okay? We took the whey mixture, and just the water portion, just that whey portion, heated that solution up a little bit to, is there a certain temperature that you use?
It was 90 degrees.
Okay, so we heated it back up to 90 degrees, added a little bit of salt, okay, and now we just kind of rinsed it in here, so we're doing a little wash. Okay, and then the next part that we're going to do, okay, is just squeeze out the water, okay, and let it dry, but we're also going to make sure that we massage this, okay, like your dough, so like you were baking bread. Okay. Now, if this works right, okay, as I'm squeezing this, you notice that none of that white curd is coming through your cheesecloth. That was the big tip off for a problem with that one over there, is when I tried to do this, my hands ended up all white because of that cheese curd that was coming through, so it was just too fine. And so we're just going to, and again, make sure that you do this over a sink, so that way you don't have water running down your cabinets and onto the floor. Almost feels like I'm playing with a stress ball.
You should be able to take it out of the cheesecloth now. It should be
Okay.
like a dough.
And you might want to have this under a paper towel. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. So, all right. So I squeezed it. is interesting stuff. Still pretty soft, so it needs to dry a little bit. So I can't really get a good hold on it, but so we'll let it dry and continue on from there. And it's a good idea if you do wear gloves, because you can see that I've made a mess, but that is half the fun. So we'll see you the next time.